self-portrait by Elizabeth Louise Vigée Lebrun from 1790. It's an oil on canvas. Lebrun, one of our few female artists, was a painter from a very young age and earning some money at painting by age 14. So prolific and successful was she that she was actually arrested once. She was walking down the street with all of her painting stuff in her bag, and they knew that she was making money. So she had to join the Painting Guild, which is kind of an official guild, like a union. And at any rate, she was making money, taking care of the family. She had to do that because her husband was a gambler and wasn't reliable. So it was Lebrun who was bringing home the bacon for the family. Her family included just one daughter. More context to know is that at age 12, Lebrun was copying Rubens. Peter Paul Rubens, was the painter of this piece. Henry IV receives the portrait of Marie de Medici. And from Rubens, so this is a Rubens piece here. From Rubens, Lebrun, this is a Lebrun piece here, learned how to make her people animated, her subject animated, polished, and attractive, which is important when you're painting portraits of aristocrats. I think you can see here there is some real similarity between Rubens and Lebrun. Very polished. More context is that as Lebrun became pretty famous, she was called upon by the Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, to do some portraits of Marie Antoinette. This is a very famous one of Marie Antoinette with her children. And this one is kind of inspired by the idea that Marie Antoinette was not so popular with the French public. And this piece by Lebrun shows that Marie Antoinette is capable of creating an heir, although there was the death of a recent baby here. That's why the cradle is empty. At any rate, Marie Antoinette liked Lebrun so much that she pushed to get Lebrun to be a part of a very male organization, the Académie Royale of Painters and Sculptors. So this is more context here. Lebrun, as a part of that Académie Royale, was able to show her paintings in a real public place, the Salon in France. And this is one of her self-portraits of her and her daughter. But what was scandalous about this piece is that Lebrun is showing teeth here. And that was just not part of portraiture at the time. It was considered pretty lowbrow. So she kind of got beat up a little bit by the Académie Royale, by all the men. She was, for example, she was not allowed to join the male painters in painting nudes that would be brought into the Academy for the painters to practice and work on their craft. Funny though, Lebrun's piece, this one, sold for $7.2 million in 2019. So she's pretty good. Here are two pieces that she painted of Marie Antoinette. This one's quite famous. This one ended up also getting criticized because Lebrun painted Marie Antoinette with something kind of peasant looking. You know, this white gown is something that a peasant-ish person would wear. So she had to take it out of the show in Paris. You guys know that Marie Antoinette was killed in the French Revolution by the guillotine. And so knowing that she was the, artist doing all these self-portraits of the queen, Lebrun felt like she needed to flee France during the French Revolution. So she did flee France, and she spent the next 10 years of her life traveling in Russia, Italy, and Germany, painting portraits of royal families, aristocrats, wherever she went. She was able to charge a pretty high price, so she was able to make a decent living at this. And these are two examples of portraits that she made of people in Europe as she was traveling around, avoiding the French Revolution. And this is a piece that she did, her self-portrait, a year after the revolution started in 1790. She happened to be in Italy at the time, and she's painting herself here. She's sitting in front of a, portrait, like she's working on somebody's portrait here. She's wearing a white turban. She's wearing a fancy black velvet dress and a big fancy red velvet sash. Part of the work that we see here is a bit Rococo and it's a bit neoclassic. So we have, particularly on the color, this is like Rococo coloring. Do you remember this from our Fragonard, the swing here? So that muted kinds of colors is what we've got going on in Fragonard or Lebrun's piece. But Lebrun was also kind of working in the neoclassic world. We see this in this other piece of hers where she's got this portrait of somebody but dressed in really kind of Greek clothes. And you can see that Greek or Roman temple up there with columns and arches and such. So Lebrun is in between those two, Rococo and neoclassic. The content in this self-portrait, obviously it's of herself showing teeth, but it's also the paint. Who is she painting? We think it's likely Marie Antoinette in the painting. And what would it do for her in terms of content if she is putting herself in a piece with Marie Antoinette? Well, it's going to show that she is a painter of really important people. And her gown, which is, this rich velvet and rich red velvet bow on it or tie, this just shows that she sees herself as a person of prestige in her craft. She's got a position, in other words, around Europe as a known great portrait artist. Okay, so the function of this is that Lebrun has shown her pride as being a painter, a portraitist. She is showing her determination as an artist in a world where she is one of few women doing this work, and especially recognized as a good artist at the time. So this is Self-Portrait, Piece 105 by Elizabeth Louise Vigée Lebrun, 1790, a year after the French Revolution started. And it's an oil on canvas that is Rococo to neoclassic.